Hello, thank you for tuning in to Vanderlei Guitar Repair and Modifications. I'm your host, Sean. Today on the workbench, we have Mark Jackson's PJ back for, well, probably the final, episode. We might break it up in two. He is going to get these really awesome Gotoh machine heads on here, so I'm gonna put those on today. And then we may go ahead and just set it up and finish. We may not. I might do that tomorrow. I went ahead off camera and adjusted the saddles on this bridge for the string spacing. Where I guessed at them. We'll have to wait till the strings are on to see if I'm right. I put them about where I like them. I may have to change that later for him if he decides he wants them, a little differently, and he may. It's personal preference. Also, just check. I mean, all the fretwork is done, and the board looks great. This is a 12-inch radius, I do believe, and yeah, it sure is 12-inch radius. So we'll go by that when we set it up. I like 12-inch radius. Most fenders are 9.5. Prior to like 65, like 7.25. I really like 12, especially for fretless, which is primarily, what I use. But let me get you set up here so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so try to keep this plastic on so I don't get fingerprints all over it. We'll see how long I can do that. Let's just fit right in like that. And then we have this nut, so let's just try one here and make sure it's going to fit fine. There shouldn't be any issues. All right, that is going to look nice. Loosen it up just a little. I want to be able to move it around quite a bit so I can get them straight before I screw them in, etc. So yeah, let's just go through and I like these. I really do. Go through and get the rest of them. This is it's like a black chrome. I forgot what they call it, but man, it looks nice. All right, I'm going to go through and just do that with all these, and then we'll straighten them up, tighten them up. Well, drill holes, then tighten them up. First thing first, we got to get them where we want them. All right, so that's an approximation. It's pretty close. And then we got the string tree as well. I'm not going to put the string tree on until the strings are on to make sure I have it in the right spot. With this being a reverse headstock especially, I don't want to mess it up. This is, man, this is nice. It really is. I like these tuners. All right, let's turn this over. And what I want to do is get everything straight. Let me get a ruler. What I don't like about these tuners is the shape. I mean, the shape looks cool, but as far as getting them completely in the right position when they have a flat surface, it's easier. But we're going to do fine. We're going to do fine. Yeah, that's going to work out just great. should be us right there. What I want to do though, before I mark my holes, or where I'm going to put the holes, I want to turn it over. Just make sure all that's looking good on this end. And yeah, it is. Alright, so one more time with the ruler. Okay, that is it. That is us. Just keep a little screw here. So what I want to do now is carefully mark where I'm going to drill. And all I'm doing is taking this, it's actually a drywall screw. I just keep it around because it fits in a lot of things, and it's good to make little punches. I'm just putting a little mark where I want them. Then we're going to pull these back off. I'm going to drill the holes. And we'll screw these things right in. Trying to make sure I get that just about in the middle, which is a little harder than you think. Okay, that should be us. Let's pull these off, and we're gonna drill our holes. Go. So here's one of the screws for the back. What I want to do is measure it. My calipers here, and I'm right about 2.8. That's for the top of it, though. See what I get for where the threads are, and it's still about 2.8 millimeters. So what I want to do is find the right drill bit, which I believe will be this one. No, we need a bigger one than that. That's why I measure. It just saves you some headache. Probably this one. I want it to be a little bit smaller, but not too much. That's 2.0. Let me try the next size up. Let's see what this is. 2.4. So yeah, I think this is the one I'm going to want. And I always just kind of like to eye it up. Alright, so 2.4. Let me double check this. Yeah, okay. That should be us. Calipers are great for this kind of stuff. Let's drill these holes. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put a flag on this so that it doesn't go through the headstock. That is the last thing that anybody wants. I want it to drill deep enough, but not too deep. So I'm just measuring the side of the headstock. And it's better to go a little shallow because you can always go deeper. Okay, I'm thinking that is good right there. And I'm going to double check me. There. Alright, so let's drill these holes. You just want to make them as straight as you can. I don't have this, I have this on a kind of a low setting. I like a 7. I just take my time until I get down to where I want to be. That way I know it's nice and straight and I'm not going to crack the finish. There you go. Alright. There we go. Okay. Just because I feel better about that. Make sure. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, that's what I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and drill the rest of these holes. Okay, I'm going to set the first one in. Head in. Put the nut on. With the washer. Not tighten it, but just get it on there. There we go. Alright, so screw this in. Get a small screwdriver. I'll start it by hand. I'm just going to start all 3 of these by hand, and snug them up. Right. Alright, I'm going to tighten this nut by hand. Alright. Now I'm going to just hand tighten them. Yeah. Then let me get this out of the way. Just turn it over. Then I want to tighten this. Let's see here. What size is that? Pretty good guess there. That works fine. This is a 3/4. You don't have to torque this stuff down. All right. So I'm going to move on and do all the rest of them. All right. Yeah, they are all in. Let's take a look at the back. Looks nice. I make sure everything's tight. This one looks a little loose. Sometimes after you tighten down the front, some of these will not be as tight as you want, the screws. So I always go back and just check them. Now these don't have to be torqued down crazy. I don't want them nice and snug, but they're there to make sure that nothing moves from side to side. There we go. Looks really good. All right. Yeah, take a look at that. You know, I can't stand these anymore. Mark, you're gonna have to deal with my fingerprints. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you. You're just throwing me off, though. Man, I like these. Now, I know these are brand new, and they probably don't need anything, but just as prophylaxis, and something I do general maintenance anyway, I'm going to put a little drop of 3-in-1 oil on each one. I mean, just a tiny bit. And that way, they should be good for at least a year. There we go. And I mean, when I say a drop, it's not even a drop. It's just a tiny bit. And twist it all around. Work everything in. Like I say, even though they're new, who knows how long they've been sitting. And I think lubricating tinning machines when you first put them on is a good practice. And then, like I said, I do my open tinning machines like these. Yeah, once a year, probably. Whenever, or maybe more. When I change strings, I check them and make sure I wipe all this off. I don't really think there's any excess. Okay. There you go, that is looking good. throw some strings on this bad boy. So Mark is using the Ernie Ball Power Slinkies. These are the 55 to 110. And I believe, I'll double check, but I believe we are tuning this to C standard. So these would be great strings for that. Okay, so the strings are on. Here is, I think, where I'm going to place my string tree. Back just a little. About right there. Yeah, I think right there. So let me mark it. I don't know if this will fit. It does. Okay. So let's go through the same process. Let's get the screw that goes in it and measure it, and then we'll find the right size bit. Okay. And I always measure in millimeters. Being a nurse, I'm used to the metric system, but you definitely don't have to do it that way. It doesn't matter as long as you're getting the right measurement. Use a thicker side of the caliper with something that has threads. You get a more accurate measurement. 2.6. So I think it's going to be the same size as we use for the tuners. And that is awfully close. 2.4. Let's see. Let me just double check. 2.6. Maybe it's showing 2.4. Yeah, I guess that's going to be right. Okay. Now, in this instance, in order to get our flag placed appropriately, we want to put the string tree on the bit. And see again. That should be good right there. You know what? I'm going to tear this in half. There. Okay, let's try this again. I won't use a small one. So I always double check myself. You can always go deeper. I think that is us. Right there. Boom. Alright, I'm going to whittle this off. Hopefully without taking off my flag. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm just going to keep it as straight as we can. And as soon as that flag starts clearing everything out, you know you're deep enough. So that should be good. Let's make sure this is going to fit. It is perfect. All right. I'm just going to place this. Very good. Now let me get my screwdriver. And these strings are pretty slack, but and if I do it with the strings on, I know it's placed exactly right. All right. Should be good. All right. Again, you know, snug that up really well. You don't have to get crazy on it. I'm going to have to cut the nut, which I mean, I knew I would. Those are heavy strings. And generally, it's just something I have to do anyway. Let's get this set here as far as the nut goes and stuff. Okay, so that looks pretty nice. It really does. I don't want to really tune this completely. I just want to get a little bit of tension on the strings so I can see how bad the nut, well, actually, I know I have to do it. So I'm going to put a little bit of tension on the strings and just see exactly where I'm at with this nut. Okay, so let's cut this nut a little. And these are pretty big strings, and what I usually use for going strings like this is this diamond file. And it does a really good job on basses, especially when you're using heavier strings. Even mediums, it works really well. Almost there. And when you're doing this, you know, you should really tape. I'm not taping it, but if you're not used to doing it, definitely tape. But I always cut down at a little bit of an angle, and go in increments. Take your time. This is a synthetic bone nut, so it's pretty easy to work with. And what I want is for there to be almost no gap when I fret the third fret and push down on the first. I want there to be almost nothing, just a tiny bit of one, so that we want it to ring, the string to ring nicely when it's open. But the lower we get that, the lower action that space will take. So I'm going to go through and get this. I believe this is probably about where we need to be. Again, take your time, small increments. You can always go deeper, as us. You can always go deeper, but you can't go. Can't really go up any higher. So hang tight. I'm going to go through and cut all these. So one way I check these, there are gauges, etc., and you can use a feeler gauge. I know that this is this pick is some kind of thin pick I got somewhere. It is just about right for a bass, so I just keep this laying around, and when I press, you can see, I press on this third fret right on top of the fret, and then I press down, and I can barely get this under there. That's what I want. So the A string, it's just about there. So I'm gonna just work on that a little bit more. But yeah, I'm almost done. This works nicely if you find something that you know is a good thickness. Otherwise, feeler gauges work fine. All right, so the nut is all cut. It's looking good. And now I'm gonna go ahead and I eyed up the intonation. Don't know how close I am, but I just eyed it up. And I also eyed up the radius. Again, not sure how close it'll be. And I also eyed up the action. I just eyed everything up, so I haven't even tried anything. Oh, we're right on for our 12-inch radius. That's kind of cool. Let me go ahead and tune this. Okay, so I have everything together and, well, ready to set up, I guess. Right on C. Okay. Well, and I just eyed that up too. I'll totally take that. That's right on. That's looking good too. All right, I'm going to do the next two strings, make sure the intonation's right, and take a look at the pickup height, and we'll look at the action. Hang tight. Okay, so I got everything in tune. Intonation set. I got all the action at we're at about 1.25, between 1.25 and 1.50, which is really low, especially for something that's tuned to C standard. But it seems like it's going to hold it, so let's plug this thing in and see what happens. All sounds pretty good. I want to adjust these pickups a little. I like this. I like this. Yeah, so just adjust these pickups and you can get a little bit higher. Hang tight. Okay, I think that's about right. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. This is done. I should probably do a real playing sample. I'll do that. I'll probably do that tomorrow, maybe later today. We'll see. But yeah, let's clean this headstock a little. Thanks a whole lot for tuning in. And this has been a fun project. And I hope Mark likes this as much as I do. I think it's great. But I think he will. I think he will. I think he has a show coming up he wants to use it at. Maybe on the 27th. Something like that. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. Tell your friends. Listen to Rifle every day on the playlist here. It's all of our music. Rock on. Love one another.